The Toronto Raptors are officially in a new era of their franchise after making two huge moves which sent OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks and Pascal Siakam to the Indiana Pacers. The Raptors finally made it clear which direction they were taking. The Raptors are currently in a rebuild, and Darko Rajakovic already hinted that the rest of this season will be all about player development. Therefore, don't expect the Raptors to prioritize wins and losses. Yes, the next little while is going to be rough. Yes, there's going to be some growing pains, but the Raptors are in a far better position now than they were before making the trades. The Raptors' future is brighter than you think. What's going on, everyone? It is Luca here, back with another video. I wanted to give you all my take on the current state of the Toronto Raptors and tell you why I'm actually optimistic about this team's future for the first time in a while. If y'all can do me a favor, please hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And also, please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors and NBA content just like this. Also, real quick, if you guys are looking for my day-to-day Raptors content like I did in the past, you can find that at the Raptors Nation YouTube channel. The link is down below. As you guys know, over here on my main channel, I've been covering all NBA teams while still sprinkling in some Raptors videos. So I know many fans are still upset that the team traded away Anunoby and most recently Siakam. And look, both guys have been performing well in their new landing spots. But these were the right moves for the franchise. This team needed to pick a direction and finally embrace a rebuild. I said it many times on this channel, and I was frustrated by how long it took. While I agree that the Raptors front office may have waited too long to get this thing started, it's good they finally pulled the trigger. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but don't underestimate the Raptors' young core or the team's future. The truth is, the Raptors' old core of Van Vliet and Anunoby and Siakam had hit their ceiling together. If the Raptors brought Siakam back to the max, this team would have continued to be stuck in the middle. At least now, the Raptors have fully reset and can now start to build this thing properly from the ground up. The young core is set with the Raptors, and it's an exciting one. Scottie Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickley are the three untouchables on this team for the foreseeable future, as the Raptors could be open for business ahead of the February 8th trade deadline, according to TSN's Josh Lewenberg. Quickley has already shown flashes of how dynamic of a guard he can be. He's been showcasing his speed, quickness, and playmaking. Also, he's had a couple of offensive outbursts already. The thing with Quickley is taking smart shots and being consistent with his shooting. The 24-year-old still has a lot of room to grow, but as I said it before, the Raptors have their franchise point guard. Then you look at RJ Barrett, who has really embraced playing for his hometown team so far. RJ looks rejuvenated, and he has seen an uptick in his production since the trade. The thing with RJ that has really stood out to me has been his aggressiveness, his ability to get downhill and draw contact, and also he's been very consistent. I mean, he's only had one bad game in his young Raptors tenure so far, and that was the 4-point outing he had against the Jazz. RJ has been sharp, and he's been big on the glass and has shown off his playmaking as well. Then you got Scottie Barnes, who is in the middle of having a solid third season. The Raptors have fully committed to him, and they will continue to build the team around Scottie. He is now undoubtedly the face of the franchise. I know Scottie Barnes has been rocky since the new year from an offensive standpoint, and his three-point shooting has dipped down, but you got to remember, the Raptors have gone through a huge transformational period over the last month, and Barnes was really connected to the players that got traded. So it's going to take time for him to get used to this new reality, and the Raptors, they have time. Also, I know people want to see Scottie be more aggressive and look to be more of the guy, but we got to have a bit more patience with him. He's 22 years old, and even when Scottie doesn't have it on offense, he still finds a way to impact the game in other ways. I mean, if Barnes looks like a Draymond Green on his worst days, you'll take that. Barnes has still made huge strides from his second season, and you can't take that away. Barnes still has a lot of growing to do. You can tell by how he reacts to calls or when he lets his emotions get the best of him, but that will come with maturing as a person. Also, he has to do a better job of not trying to force the issue and clean up his turnovers, but I still believe Barnes can be a vital piece of this young core. It's important to have patience with all of these young players. Now, the next part of this is what the Raptors will do before the trade deadline. I've made it clear that the Raptors should elect to have a fire sale. See what they can get for the veterans on this roster who could help contending teams. Players like Schroeder, Trent Jr., Boucher, Bruce Brown Jr., and even Pirtle have come up in trade rumors. A guy like Brown could be a big trade piece for the Raptors. For the Raptors, it should be all about getting future assets and picks for the future. That's what it's about. It's not about the now. It's about the future. And speaking of that, the Raptors are about to have a huge 2024 NBA draft that could very well continue to shape their future. If the Raptors end up keeping their 2024 first round pick, which is top 6 protected, they would have 4 picks in this upcoming draft. Their pick, the 2 acquired in the Pacers trade, and the early second rounder from the Knicks trade. I think the whole it's a weak draft class take is lazy. There's always hidden gems and solid players in these drafts, but the Raptors need to be on their drafting A game for this draft and need some luck on their side to find some diamonds in the rough. The next thing I want to say is I'm Team Tank for the rest of the season. There's no point for the Raptors to try to go for the play-in when this team has already made it clear that they're not concerned about winning for now. If the Raptors finish with the 6th worst record, which they currently have, they'd have a 45.8% chance of keeping their pick. But the Raptors should be gunning for the 5th worst record, which is within reach because they then have a 63.9% chance of keeping their pick. The Raptors 2024 draft is going to be pivotal for this team's future. The Raptors will also have the 2026 first rounder from Indiana, which could be intriguing, and whatever other picks they end up getting in potential trades. And for those of you looking ahead to the Raptors 2025 draft, their pick for that is top 6 protected too. So theoretically, the Raptors could potentially be a bottom 6 team next year, keep that pick, and then the pick would carry over to the Spurs having the Raptors 2026 pick, which again would be top 6 protected. Now let's talk about what I'll call the Raptors projects. First, it's been great to see Grady Dick finally get some consistent playing time. He's looking a lot more confident out there and comfortable. I think he can replace Gary Trent Jr. in his role, or at least that would be the goal. Jonte Porter has shown a lot of good things since being in the rotation with Pirtle out. The young guy has been making a case to remain in the Raptors' long-term plans. And then how about Jordan Nwora? He looks like a real potential hidden gem for the Raptors. I mean, this dude is looking far more than just a throw-in in the Pascal Siakam trade. I think this guy has a real chance to be a solid long-term bench piece for the Raptors. He's 25 years old, and he's exactly what the Raptors need out of a second unit guy. He's showing off his length, his shooting ability, and the Raptors could use some size on the wing. He's an unrestricted free agent this summer, and if he keeps playing like this, the Raptors gotta keep him. The Raptors might end up looking a lot different soon, but this team is all about the youth movement. This season and potentially next are going to be rough for the Raptors, but if their young core develops together nicely, and if the Raptors are able to ace this upcoming draft, they could be back on track sooner rather than later. Overall, for the first time in a while, I'm excited about the Raptors' future, which all of a sudden has some light at the end of the tunnel. What is your reaction to the new look Raptors, and what do you guys think of the Raptors' future? Are you optimistic about it? Are you pessimistic? Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Drop a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And again, subscribe to the channel for more. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next video.